Have you ever judged someone in a single moment, only to discover you were completely wrong?
Sometimes, the person standing quietly in old clothes carries more strength, wisdom, and kindness than anyone in the room.
And sometimes, the loudest voice is the one that has the most to learn.
Today's story is about a single father who was treated with disrespect, a proud new CEO who believed power gave him every right, and a lesson that changed an entire company forever. Stay with this story until the very end, because one unexpected moment will remind you that kindness is never a weakness. Before we begin, please take a second to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. Your support helps us share more heartwarming stories that remind the world how powerful kindness can be. The morning sun shined across the airport as workers rushed from one hangar to another. Airplanes waited for maintenance, engineers checked every detail, and mechanics worked carefully to keep every flight safe.
Near the largest hangar, a man named Daniel swept the floor.
His work clothes were old but clean. His hands were rough from years of hard work. He greeted every employee with a smile, even those who barely noticed him.
Daniel was a single father raising his 10-year-old daughter, Lily.
Every morning before work, he made her breakfast, packed her lunch, and walked her to school. Life was not easy, but he never complained. He believed that respect and kindness were worth more than money.
Most workers liked Daniel.
Whenever someone needed help, he was always there.
If a mechanic worked late, Daniel brought coffee. If a new employee looked nervous, Daniel encouraged them with kind words. Very few people knew that Daniel was more than just a maintenance worker.
Years earlier, he had founded the aviation company with two close friends. After his wife passed away, he stepped away from daily leadership to focus on raising Lily. He quietly remained the majority owner while trusted executives managed the business.
Daniel often visited the company without telling anyone who he really was.
He wanted to understand how employees were treated when no one thought the owner was watching. That same week, the board hired a new CEO named Victor. Victor was young, confident, and famous for increasing profits. He believed strict rules and fear created successful businesses. During his first meeting, he promised to make big changes. Only the strongest deserve to stay, he proudly announced.
Many employees exchanged worried looks.
On his first day walking through the hangars, Victor noticed Daniel sweeping near one of the private aircraft.
Victor frowned. "You!" he shouted. Daniel calmly looked up. "Yes, sir? What are you doing near this aircraft?"
"I'm cleaning the area before the mechanics begin today's inspection." Victor looked at Daniel's worn boots and faded uniform.
"You don't belong here." Daniel politely replied, "This has been part of my job for many years."
Victor crossed his arms. "I don't care how long you've been here."
Several employees stopped working as they watched.
Victor pointed toward the exit.
"Get out of my hangar."
The building became completely silent. Daniel looked around at the frightened faces of the workers. Instead of arguing, he simply smiled. "I'm sorry you feel that way," he quietly said.
Victor became even angrier. "Did you hear me? Leave immediately."
Just then, several members of the company's board entered the hangar. They had arrived for Victor's official welcome tour.
The chairman noticed Daniel standing near the exit. His eyes grew wide.
"Mr. Carter," he called respectfully. Victor looked confused. The chairman quickly walked toward Daniel and warmly shook his hand.
"We've been looking everywhere for you." Daniel smiled gently. "I wanted to spend the morning with the team." Victor laughed nervously. "Excuse me. You know this maintenance worker?"
The chairman looked surprised.
"Maintenance worker?"
He turned toward Victor.
"This is Daniel Carter, founder of this company and majority owner." The entire hangar froze.
Victor's face lost all color. His mouth opened, but no words came out. Every employee watched in complete silence.
Daniel could have embarrassed Victor in front of everyone.
He could have fired him immediately. Instead, he slowly walked back toward him. I understand first impressions can be misleading, Daniel said softly.
Victor lowered his head. I'm so sorry. Daniel nodded. I appreciate your apology. Then he looked around at every employee. The real question isn't how you treated me. He paused. It's how you treat every person you believe has no power. No one spoke. Those simple words filled the hangar with deep silence. Later that afternoon, Daniel invited Victor into his office. The room was simple. Family photos covered one wall. One picture showed Daniel and Lily smiling while building a small model airplane together. Victor looked at the photo. She's beautiful. Daniel smiled proudly. She's my greatest achievement. Victor quietly asked, why did you keep your identity secret? Daniel looked out the window toward the hangar. Because titles don't reveal character. He continued, if people only respect me because I'm the owner, then that respect has no value. Victor listened carefully. Daniel continued. When I sweep floors, I discover the truth. I hear conversations. I see who helps others. I learn who believes every person deserves dignity. Victor slowly nodded. I failed that test. Daniel smiled kindly. Today, yes. But failure is only permanent if you refuse to learn. Those words stayed with Victor long after the meeting ended. The next morning, employees noticed something unusual. Victor arrived earlier than everyone else. He walked through every department, greeting workers by name. He thanked the cleaners. He carried heavy equipment with the mechanics. He shared breakfast with security guards. When he saw Daniel sweeping again, he quietly picked up another broom. Without saying a word, they cleaned the hangar together. Workers watched with surprise. Little by little, the company began to change. Managers stopped shouting. Employees started helping one another more often. People smiled more. New workers felt welcome from their first day. Even customers noticed the difference. One afternoon, Lily visited the company after school. She ran into her father's arms. Victor smiled warmly. So this is the young lady I've heard so much about. Lily grinned. My dad says airplanes stay in the sky because everyone works together. Victor looked at Daniel. She's right. Daniel gently placed his hand on Lily's shoulder. That's true for airplanes. He smiled. And it's true for people. Months later, the company received an award for having one of the best workplace cultures in the industry. Reporters asked Daniel what secret had transformed the business. He answered with only one sentence. When people feel respected, they give their very best. That quote quickly spread across newspapers and social media. But Daniel never cared about the attention. He cared that every cleaner, mechanic, engineer, receptionist, and pilot walked into work knowing they mattered. Victor never forgot the day he shouted, "Get out of my hangar." Instead of remembering it with shame alone, he remembered it with gratitude. Because the man he had insulted chose forgiveness instead of revenge. That single act of kindness changed not only one leader but an entire company. The greatest leaders are not those who demand respect. They are the ones who freely give it. Every person you meet is fighting a battle you cannot see. Every smile, every kind word, and every small act of respect has the power to change someone's life forever. So the next time you meet someone wearing old clothes, doing a simple job, or standing quietly in the background, remember Daniel's story. Treat them with kindness. Speak with respect. Offer a smile. You never know whose heart you might lift or how your kindness might return to you one day. Because true greatness is never measured by titles, wealth, or power. It is measured by how we treat people when we believe they have nothing to offer us. And in the end, kindness will always fly higher than pride.